The ambition to succeed starts with a vision. We have translated that vision into the capacity to create a world that could be very different from the one that is today. A question that we must ask ourselves: what's next for finance? It's only when you question the ordinary that the extraordinary is revealed. Once you catch a glimpse of it, it becomes your reality. A reality that pulsates with sustainability, affordability, and financial innovation. Visit plentydefi.com to get started.
What a great first panel to kickstart the day there. Now, what we're talking about now is the Middle East really being a forefront when it comes to blockchain, emerging tech, and of course, DeFi. So our next panel discussion is talking about the rise of DeFi in the Middle East, and we have some amazing guests for this panel. We have Saeed Darmaki from Shisha Finance, Josef Holm, and of course the Bitcoin advocate himself, Tim Draper. I'm going to leave it with you guys to enjoy this 30-minute discussion.
Hey, how are you guys?
Terrific. Great to be here. I'm sorry I'm not in Dubai in person, but exciting to be at this conference.
Well, we have a lot of really exciting updates and things going on here. I'm joining you from Dubai. Saeed is joining us from Abu Dhabi. And there is so much going on here in the not just the DeFi space, but in the blockchain space in general. I've been coming here for a few months now this year already. I've moved here with my family, attended a bunch of the conferences, really grown our network a lot with the help of Saeed, who is the managing director of Casper Labs, one of our portfolio companies, and also the CEO of Shisha Finance, decentralized fund. But he will tell us about a little more about that later. I'm just really excited to have both of you here, two of my favorite people. And why don't we kick it off by Saeed telling a little bit about yourself, what you do, and welcome to the Global DeFi Summit.
Yeah, for sure. Firstly, Tim, really looking forward to seeing you again in Dubai. I guess you haven't been here for a couple of years, but I'm sure when you do visit, you'll notice a huge difference in the environment and the scene here as well, especially when it comes to blockchain and DeFi. But yeah, just a bit of background on myself. I've been in blockchain and crypto for the last 4.5 years. I co-founded Alphabet Digital Currency Fund 4 years ago. Previously, I used to work for Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, which is one of the largest global sovereign wealth funds. And then more recently, I've been appointed managing director of the MENA region for Casper Labs. And I've also launched Shisha Finance, which is a decentralized fund, which is aiming to disrupt the traditional mutual fund structure. And I'm super happy to be partnered with Draper, Goren, Holm, and I'll do my utmost to make sure that you guys, make a big success here in Dubai and in the Middle East. And I'll be supporting both your portfolio companies and your efforts here and your incubator, and making sure that we get you the right connections and the right introductions, and also at the government level, get you in touch with the right people in the government and the regulators here as well.
Terrific. Well, thank you, Saeed, and great to be on this panel with you. And I guess Saeed and Josef have really stirred things up, because I've never heard so much activity about Bitcoin and decentralization and DeFi coming from Dubai before you guys arrived, and now you've really stirred the place up. So well done, and great to have a good base in the Middle East doing some of the great legwork that's going to lead us toward this new world.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, Tim. We've been coming here for a few months now. We won the Investor of the Year award a couple of weeks ago.
Yes,
that
congratulations.
really put us on the map here. And Saeed has been very helpful. We're setting up the incubator at the DMCC, the Dubai Multi-Commodities Center. They have a new crypto center that just recently launched it, I think like a week ago. Since then, they've had over 400 companies apply to join that co-working space. We're also, we've partnered with CV Labs, that's the Crypto Valley venture arm. They're building an incubator here as well, so that's been very helpful. We're getting a lot of deal flow exposure, not just here in Dubai, but also in Switzerland now, which is very helpful. But the most exciting thing about Dubai is really that they've introduced this new crypto license that every startup can apply for, and it gives you regulatory clarity. So everyone who comes here and sets up a company here doesn't have to worry about the legal framework. It's pretty clear what they can do and cannot do. And I guess that's what's been attracting so many companies here, right, Saeed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the top down, I think the environment here has been very much supportive of blockchain technology and crypto startups coming here as well, with a lot of incubators and accelerators being set up by the government. And I think with the regulators and the central bank also kind of looking at ways to regulate this wonderful and new asset class, I think the infrastructure and ecosystem is definitely exploding here, and I think it's on a very upward trajectory. And I think with the likes of the names of Tim Draper and Josef Holm and Goren, I think that will just really make things much more exciting and encourage a lot of new startups and DeFi companies to come over here and set up shop here. I think with the tax structure here as well being very accommodating to companies setting up, that's a bonus as well. But the one thing that I'd say is most important is Dubai has always been kind of a tourist hub and a kind of middle spot for most countries, whether it's from the west or the east. So that's definitely helped a lot. And I think, it's definitely in the limelight when it comes to blockchain and crypto. So I think you guys are here at the right time. I think it's just accelerating now. And I think together we'll definitely do a lot of great things. And I'm super excited about the future.
I love seeing various governments compete for these new entrepreneurs that are doing great things and transforming the world. And I think the governments that do a good job, that do attract these entrepreneurs and do attract the entrepreneurs that are going to be active with Bitcoin and blockchain and smart contracts and decentralization, those governments are going to go way faster. They're going to grow way faster. They're going to create much more wealth, many, many more jobs than the governments that are resistant to it, trying to control everything. The control governments don't work. It's the governments that allow freedom, allow people to be free and to do interesting things. Those governments are going to be big beneficiaries of this next 40 years.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't agree
congratulations, more. Dubai. And hopefully your own country, Abu Dhabi, is also competing for these people.
I think at an institutional level, it's definitely there's definitely regulation around crypto assets in Abu Dhabi, and at an institutional level, there is an incubator and accelerator here from the government. But Dubai, in terms of startups and new companies coming, is definitely a lot more active, and definitely a lot more active on the tourist side of things. But yeah, Abu Dhabi has an equally important role to play because there's several regulated crypto exchanges that are coming up as well in Abu Dhabi. And I think it's been the leader in that space and in terms of institutional money coming into crypto as well.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia started to do a good job with this too, because they sent 150 students to Draper University. The MISC group sent and Moonshot sent 150 students to Draper University, and they learned they got an earful on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and DeFi and all of these things. And so they've got 150 people all like spreading the word, building their new economy. And so I think the Middle East is going to be a really great hotspot for this new world that revolves around a decentralized, trusted, free cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and all these. I mean, I think you're going to start seeing the governments recognize that can bring more value to their country and build a better life for their people. And so I think this is fantastic, and I'm glad you somehow bumped into Josef. I think you two are going to make a big difference out there.
It's been really exciting, and as you know, I've lived in California for 10 years, and I'm originally from Europe, so I'm intimately, I know about the red tape and the problems that come up when you try to do something new, and here it's been really mind-blowing to see the pace of adoption. Once the government decided that blockchain is good for the country, now let's do it. That was pretty much the end of the discussion. Right now, they're obviously still implementing some of the frameworks, and these things take time, but they have decided to do it. And one thing that Dubai is particularly good at is not to be second, right? So when they decide to do something, they want to be the best and the biggest, and you can
certainly have the tallest building.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been really exciting. It's also been exciting to see our portfolio Casper Labs here, with your support, Saeed. They have just given a grant to our other portfolio company, DLN, the Decentralized Lending Network. We talked to you about this a few months ago. They are moving here, and they are getting a great support from the government, setting up the framework and creating the foundation to bring micro loans to billions of people, not just in the region, but around the world. And it's been just fantastic to see how they're just moving forward with this. They just want to do it. They want to be first. So it's been very exciting to be here. Dubai is definitely the place to be right now.
Yeah, in terms of Casper Labs as well, I think Casper Labs was looking at the Middle East and North Africa region, and about 6 or 7 months ago, they asked me to be an advisor just so they could have somebody kind of talk about Casper Labs in the region. But then when the team came over to Dubai for the first time in the beginning of February, when they actually saw on the ground everything that was happening, the team was super excited, and they really wanted to actually set up a base here. And once I saw that the team was really excited about it and wanted to set up here, then for me it was natural to just tell them, hey, I really like Casper Labs, I really like the tech, I really like the team, and since you're really serious about moving over here, then I'd really, really want to be highly involved. And it was just a no-brainer for the guys to offer me to head up their efforts in the MENA region. And I think with DLN, it's a project that's really impactful. I think it's going to make a big impact on a lot of lives. I think there's a lot of people out there who sometimes struggle and they're on low income, and they find it very expensive to access loans. But I think what DLN is trying to do is disrupt the monopoly that's been with the banks that are just charging crazy high fees for these loans. And I think it's just going to change a lot of lives. So I'm really happy that I was able to help DLN in the right direction to get into in touch with the DevX DAO, which belongs to the Casper Association, to help build on Casper Network and get them the grant that they needed. So that's been amazing to see as well.
So I've been it's great, and I've been thinking about, well, what's next? What might possibly be a really interesting breakthrough for the world using this technology? And I think a universal earned income might be a really interesting thing that somebody can do with a cryptocurrency, and they can start it from just scratch and then slowly but surely build it. And if there are any entrepreneurs out there looking for that, I'm Tim at Draper.vc. I'm looking very closely at those. The other thing I'm very excited about is the idea that I have a vision that I can't wait for me to be able to raise money, put the whole thing into Bitcoin, and then have a walled garden of Bitcoin where I invest it into entrepreneurs in Bitcoin. They pay their employees and suppliers in Bitcoin, and the whole thing keeps perfect records on the blockchain. And then when there's a winner, it drops into the investors' pockets in a smart contract. It drops into their Bitcoin wallets. I think we are really close there, because now you can use what's it called, Cryptio, to do perfect accounting, and they do it all off the blockchain. And so all we need is to put together that smart contract, and then the U.S. is still struggling with whether the SEC will allow me to do this. I've been trying to do it for a long time, and they're still struggling with it. I'll bet I can do it in Dubai.
Well, believe it or not, Tim, what we're doing at Shisha Finance is pretty much similar to what you've said there, except that it's not on Bitcoin, but it's on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. So we've created a platform where you stake our token on the platform, and you actually get rewards in our tokens, and also the tokens of the projects that we invest in as a fund on our platform. So you actually get distributed the tokens of all these projects on our platform. And I think I can't announce the name yet, but one of your portfolio companies is actually, we've invested in it early stage in the token launch as well.
I think I know which one it is. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an example there. But that's what we're trying to do at Shisha Finance. It's a decentralized fund. You can interact with it and get an LP exposure via smart contract, and everything is on chain. You can see the performance of the portfolio. You can see the tokens coming into your wallet, and it's all done through smart contract and on blockchain. But hopefully we can also get it on Bitcoin blockchain, but we're trying to get it on as many chains as possible in the future as well.
Yeah, and I think governments are recognize, or some of them are recognizing, that they can actually get taxes this way, and do it in an easier way. They don't even need to have the guys going around breaking kneecaps to collect the taxes.
I think Switzerland is doing a really good job of that, actually, and the Swiss government is taking tax in Bitcoin. So that's something great to see.
That's a big breakthrough. The other thing I'm thinking is, even this Bitcoin fund may be sort of a stopgap, because I actually think that we're going to go through a period where ownership changes. We're going to see ownership where ownership right now is all stock, and it's all tied to the banking system and the governments. I think you're going to be able to move off of the banking system, and where tokens are issued, and tokens are the only thing that has the value. I mean, right now I have to invest in the company and the token in order to get the value. I don't know which one is going to be the big success when people are just getting started. But I think long term, we're going to actually have a full tokenization. I think Bancor kind of led the charge here, but there have been a lot since that have thought in terms of a Saeed coin and a Josef coin and a Tim coin, and these coins would have a certain value to them, and maybe we would say, in order to get my attention, you need to buy my coin. That can happen with businesses too, where it's like, hey, you want to buy this, you got to buy my coin first, and then my coin grows in value because it starts to spread and that kind of thing. I think we've got there's some major changes coming that are going to allow us to get this decentralized world where borders become less relevant, where governments are competing with each other for us, where they're, the best governments like Dubai are the ones who are the most open, the most free, and the most trustworthy. And I think that's going to make a big difference. The next 40 years are all going to be which government was the freest and which government was the most trustworthy. Which one allowed this amazing new technology to proliferate throughout their country, and which governments were the ones who allowed us to build trust on the blockchain through the algorithms, rather than having to all be tied to a banking system, and an antiquated banking system and an antiquated governing system.
Yeah, and it's really exciting to see what happens when you're in a smaller country that doesn't have a global reserve currency, and the petrodollar to defend. That can be a lot more nimble and act quicker, and that's what's happening here.
Yeah, when I advised the Argentinian president to buy some Bitcoin for his national treasury, he kind of laughed it off. If he had done it, he could have paid back the IMF and had them out of his hair forever.
Imagine that.
I mean, that was just wild. All that debt would have been gone. But instead, they got some socialist dictator in there. And
didn't you have some kind of bet with him too?
Oh, I had a great bet. The bet was, well, I saw him 2 years before. And that was when Bitcoin hit 10,000 for the first time. So I was kind of celebrating because I had predicted that. Then it had dropped down between the time I was celebrating with him and when I saw him the next time. It had gone from 10,000 down to 4,000. And I said, okay, let's make a bet. The Argentinian peso during that time had gone from 75 cents to 25 cents. So I said, let's make a bet that Bitcoin, if the Argentinian peso outperforms Bitcoin in the next year, then I will double my investment in Argentina. And he goes, uh-huh. And then I said, but if Bitcoin outperforms the Argentinian peso, you've got to make Bitcoin a national currency. And he looks at me like this, and I said, the way Japan did. And then he said, oh, okay, we'll figure that out. If he had done it, would have been fantastic. But during that year, Bitcoin went from, whatever it was, 4,000 up to 60,000. And the Argentinian peso went from 25 cents down to less than a penny.
Wow.
And so it would have been very good for him. He didn't get reelected. Some socialist came in there and sort of is in the process of destroying the country.
I think you'll be glad to hear, Tim, that there's just been a Bitcoin ETF that's launched on NASDAQ Dubai by 3iQ, the Canadian company. So I think you're going to see a lot of Middle East and North African institutions and governments actually get into Bitcoin. So if you haven't bought the dip, then now's probably a good time.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
I keep adding to my position. I haven't. It's weird. My position is. It's very. If I were any kind of a fiduciary with my own position, people would say, "Wait, what are you doing?" It's so heavily weighted, but I'm weighting it more. I'm piling more in and more in, because I look and I say, the more I can do with my Bitcoin, like the moment OpenNode has started to open it up so that retailers can accept Bitcoin, make it really easy and frictionless, and they don't have to pay the banks 2.5% to 4%, and it's a great thing. But since that has happened, it's pretty soon where I'm going to be able to buy my groceries, buy my clothes, buy my travel, all that stuff with Bitcoin. And once I do, what's my incentive to use any other currency? Why would I hold on to another currency? People ask me, well, when are you going to sell your Bitcoin? And I say, into what?
Into what, right?
It's like taking, euros and turning them into French francs or, the German marks. It's taking the future and putting it into the past. Why would I ever do that? So
that would be a step backward.
As long as I've got enough dollars to satisfy my capital calls and keep my family happy, I just pile it all into Bitcoin. It's a very simple investment strategy.
Very smart and very, very inspiring. Hey, Tim and Saeed, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you both so much for joining us today. This has been awesome. Tim, we can't wait to welcome you here.
I can't wait to get back there. I miss the Middle East. I feel like it's taken a piece of my heart. I love the Middle East.
Can't wait to see you there, Tim.
I'll look forward to meeting with you in person, Saeed. And Joseph, keep up the good work. It's great.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
See you on Saturday, Joseph.
Thank you.